I want to ask you one more question. So inevitably when you're talking about gender, sex, politics gets involved. This is at the end of the day what we call gender politics. And so I wanted to know from you, what do you think is something that folks on the left get wrong about the hormone myth and folks on the right get wrong about the hormone myth? Some misconceptions on both sides about gender and sex.
Well, I think on the left, I think there is too much of an orthodoxy that we must stick to this idea that gender is completely socially constructed. I think there's some evidence that biology does play a role. I think that there's an interaction of biology and environment. There seems to be a lot of evidence for that. So I think the left maybe goes too far on that point. As far as the right, I think it's more likely that I would see it as an error in thinking that because something is biological, it's inevitable. We shouldn't try to change it, that somehow that makes it destiny.
Scott, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, darn it, I was going to say many of the same things. Just that I'd have to change. Let me talk in different terms about the right. I mean, I think there's these two things: sex is your body, gender is society's idea of what a man and a woman should be. And I think the characteristic error of the left is to think gender is divorced from sex. And I think that's what Robyn just said. And I think the characteristic error of the right is to think that sex over-determines gender. That there is some flexibility in what men and women are, could be, but it's not infinite. And that's what the right needs to know, but it's not an infinite creativity. That's what the left needs to know. And I often thought when I was reading your book, Robyn, that I thought you were suffering a little bit from the error of the left in denying the importance of hormones, in I don't know, like suggesting the direction of both male and female character.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be honest, the point of the book was to look at how hormones are related to mental functioning and to emotions. And I think that it's pretty clear that hormones don't seem to have a substantial effect for, I'd say, about 80% of women on how well they're going to function. And that's important. One of the reasons that we didn't get into as to why that's important is that point of view has facilitated all kinds of bad health care for women. That whole industries have been built up around prescribing women for this sickness that they have, that, oh, you don't have enough hormones, you've got too much hormones, your hormones are going up and down. That has been based on very little research and in the long term has been harmful to women.